Okay, doing something a little bit different for the Tuesday night video. It's not rapid fire, but you know what? Celebrities always have this habit of dying right after we've recorded an episode, and our episode goes to air and there's no mention of it. So Sean Connery passed away, and we thought, what better thing to do than a tribute video of sorts, a conversation about him? What better person to bring back to the mic? Keith Schulz.
Indeed.
How are you, mate?
I'm great. I'm great to be here, but happy to be here, but under sad circumstances, Glenn.
Well, this man was 90 years old.
He was 90.
It's sad, but it's a celebration.
It's bittersweet.
Yes.
It's violins, but with applause at the end.
Absolutely. And look, here's the weird thing. The last person I had at this desk for the podcast or video was you on your final episode.
That's right. And here I am again. This tells me, mate, that this is my spot. Ben. I'm sorry, mate.
Mate, Ben is warming those slippers. He's getting ready to slip into that seat.
He's done a great job.
He's done a phenomenal
job. Done a fantastic job.
But all by Zoom. So
that's right.
He's going to be back at the desk very soon. But anyway, it's you and I. We're going to talk about Sean Connery.
Yes.
Why do they die? But at this time when we've already recorded something.
That's right.
So everyone is talking about it when we drop a new episode.
That's right.
It's just Jarrett calls it our celebrity death segment. Well, it's not news. It's just that's what it is.
Well, Sean knew, mate. He watches the show. Obviously, he's like stuff these lads.
I better step off
right now. That's right.
And there is going to be lots of that.
That's right. That's right.
So all right, Sean Connery, obviously. Elephant in the room, James Bond.
Yes, the James Bond.
The James Bond.
You would agree, the best?
Yes.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I do.
Yep.
He's the first one I think of when you say James Bond.
Yeah.
Dr. No, obviously my favourite. We've had that conversation.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Which is
classic.
I went back not to prep for this, but when he passed away, I went back and just watched some old interviews and things like that. And him talking about that one,
It's the one with Barbara Walters. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Go YouTube that. No judgment, only enjoyment.
There's one called Scene by Scene. It's filmed in the late 90s, maybe early 2000s.
I haven't seen that one.
It goes for about an hour, and it's in Edinburgh. So it's a Scottish guy that Sean Connery looks uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
They take him from his hotel room in a car full of strangers he doesn't know to this reporter's house.
Wow.
And it's a small house.
Yeah.
Sean Connery, big Hollywood star, come on in. You just sit on that couch with this TV screen right here. Like this is for the perspective of the cameras, right?
Yeah.
TV screen's here. Sean Connery's like looking at it like this. We're going to just play all your movies and talk about them.
Oh, no.
And they play all the awkward stuff. They're like, okay, so we're going to play Marnie, and this is the rape scene.
Oh, no.
So they put that on, and Connery's sitting there going, she's a bit of a looker.
Oh, no, that's brilliant.
But you know what? It's a great interview. Like it's
I have to check.
A good interview. It's positive. It's not all negative. It's
I have to check it. I saw an interview that he did just after he quit Bond in '67, and it was like done in his house. It's great. So he's like an absolute lad. He's shooting pool, and like the interviewer keeps calling him Mr. 007, and you can see just how agitated he's getting because he's just quit. He's obviously super angry at the producers. That's a great interview. I don't know if it's on YouTube. You should watch it.
When he made, what was his final official Bond? Was it Diamonds
Are Forever? Which
highest salary ever earned by an actor at the time?
Yeah, he got paid $2 million, and I think to get it, they said, we'll greenlight 2 films for you. And I think one of them was the Anderson tapes. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Heist film. The other one didn't get made. Interesting story. I just have to tell you this. This is 100% true. Other night I was watching Diamonds Are Forever. Haven't watched a Bond film for a while. Watching Diamonds Are Forever. It's late. I get a message from our mutual friend Simon, and he says Sean Connery is dead.
You're watching
As I'm watching, and it's like the scene, it's about 25 minutes in, he's on the plane going to Las Vegas from Amsterdam, and like Winton, the 2 gay henchmen, are watching him. And he literally, as that scene happened, Simon messaged me, Sean Connery's dead. I took a photo of the screen and sent it back. I'm like, mate, are you kidding me right now? I couldn't believe it. How suitable. I had diamonds on, so that was my little tribute for Sean.
Wow.
But yeah, Diamonds was his last one. Not the best, but enjoyable.
Yeah.
But he made a fortune off that.
He sure did. What are some others? Well, his first film Ben talked about on the show was Darby O'Gill.
And the Little People. I think that's what got him the role.
A Disney film, and he couldn't sing
No.
himself. And
No.
Yeah, and that's a good film. It's strange. It's one of those ones where the Americans think they've got their hands all over a culture.
Yeah.
You know, and they've nailed it.
Yeah.
You know, and so they've got, you know,
Mm,
he's actually Scottish, but they bring him to America to be Irish
that's right.
and get him to sing, and
Yeah.
it's a mess of a film, but it's kind of charming.
I've never seen it. I know of it. I know he made. Is it The Hill? The Sidney Lumet
I
film.
was about to say, you know what? Of all the performances of his, I think that's his best.
That's a great film too. Yeah.
Sidney Lumet, The Hill. He's a prisoner of war essentially,
Yeah.
and there's this amazing scene where he goes head to head with like the camp. What do you call warden or whatever?
Oh, like the general or whatever.
General,
yeah.
It's one of his most impassioned scenes.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's what he always loved that film. It was a great film when it came out. I think it was 65, something like that.
Yeah.
But he had like outside of Bond, he was making like Marnie. Obviously, is I think is a great
Well,
film.
he also like had to negotiate his terms of contract because he was contracted to only make films for who was it? The company that made Bond?
Oh, MGM. Oh, United Artists.
United Artists was the one.
Yeah.
And he was contracted to only make other films for them.
Yeah.
But their other films and schedules didn't line with Bond, but other companies' films
Mm.
did. So
Yeah.
he had to negotiate out of that contract, which is also a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's Connery at that time, like
He was the man.
he
yeah.
was the man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember early, like before he did a film with Lana Turner, was it? And he had like maybe it was one of the stars. I think it was Lana Turner. He had like an affair with her. This is 50s before he became a star. And I think who is the mobster that she was involved in? Like apparently the mob were after him for a period. Fascinating story. You got to look it up, people. But like
They need a biofilm.
that's about that. Yeah.
Oh, just of Connery.
Of Connery, yeah. Like favorite Connery films outside of Bond. I would say, I mean, I love the Sidney Lumet film Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
And it's a support role, but it's a great film. Man Who Would Be King.
That's a good
which
one.
I believe I've recommended previously on the show. Look up that episode.
Yeah,
people.
I watched that not too long ago,
Great
as
film.
well as
Wow.
Darby O'Gill. After Ben recommended it, I
Yeah.
went back and watched it.
Great film.
I'm partial to his sort of 90s
In a
stuff.
resurgence.
The resurgence I found, because obviously I connected with him then. So like, my first exposure to him was probably Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's great.
But
He's great.
I do remember like there was a buzz that Sean Connery's now part of the Indiana Jones franchise. So as a kid who loves movies, I automatically kind of clicked like I should know who this guy is.
Yeah.
So then I pretended that I knew all about him, right?
Yeah.
And then before I had a chance to talk to people, I'd look up like Encyclopedia and Carter or something.
Yeah,
and look
that's
up
it.
Sean Connery and
That's right.
suddenly knew stuff about him. But those performances in the 90s, like Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, that's a classic.
I think The Rock is a really undervalued performance.
Well, he's basically Bond. It's like if Bond got caught and chucked in jail.
Yeah.
That's kind of the premise. I
Yeah.
love that.
I remember in an interview...
The only Michael Bay film I rate.
In an interview, it could have been that one I was talking about. He's asked about working on The Rock and how did you get involved with, a music video director? And he goes, well, I saw Bad Boys. Didn't care much for that. He's like, but somebody told me this is a guy to watch, so I watched it again, and technically it's all right.
Yeah, what a backhander. He was such a bastard too.
He really was.
Have you seen that interview with him on the red carpet where he loses it at that reporter? It's like, I reckon it was
Is this
like
one where he taps him?
2003, I reckon, when he quit on the lead of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Was that his last film?
Last film, yeah.
And he's like, I've been busting my ass for
That's
30
right.
years. What have you been doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, whoa, man.
You never know. He could have been busted his
That's
ass.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. But no, 90s, The Rock, I think. I remember.
It's a good movie.
It's solid, entertaining. I remember Entrapment.
When Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, that came out when I was about 9, 10.
Yeah.
So I saw that a bunch because on Foxtel.
Yep.
I was fond of that when it came out.
For sure.
Finding Forrester.
I forgot all about
That's
that.
a
That's a
great-
weird one.
It's a weird. I reckon it's a good performance from him. Unusual,
Yep.
but very sentimental. What about the Untouchables? Because he obviously won the Oscar for that one,
win
didn't
the
he?
Oscar.
Worst accent. He was supposed to be Irish in that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
Good
obviously.
film. He's
Obviously,
great in it.
He is good in it, but I think the ensemble is bigger than him.
Oh yeah.
Like he's not like a film stealer. Like he doesn't steal any particular scenes. Because I actually think Costner's pretty good in that.
Costner's
And
great.
Costner got a lot of shit for making that one.
Yeah.
But I think he's good.
He's great in that. He's one of his best roles, I think. Yeah,
And
you got De Niro, obviously.
Yeah, Charles Martin Smith. I think,
Yes.
the little guy with the glasses.
Yeah, he's
really good in that.
Spoiler, it's blown away.
Yeah.
And Andy Garcia.
Of course.
It's a great film.
Yeah, see what I mean though?
Yeah.
Like that cast is too big
It's
for it
solid.
to be a Connery film.
And the argument is that he got the career Oscar, but he could have. But I still think he's a good performance,
It is
The
good.
scene where he dies, man, like he cops like 80 bullets and he's still going. I'm like, it's an effort.
Man, I'm trying to think. Like, this is obviously proof that we don't really practice. We don't research before we record.
No,
we just go off the top of our
We're
head.
just freeballing here, people.
Freeballing?
Much like Sean would have done himself.
I prefer to freestyle, but you can freeball all you want, mate.
Free spitballing.
So I'm trying to think of, like, I just said that I love his 90s stuff, and now nothing's really good. 80s.
80s,
Outland.
yeah. Outlander.
Outland.
Oh, Outland.
You're thinking Highlander.
Yeah, I am thinking Highlander.
Highlander is fantastic, and most of our followers...
Is that 83?
84, I think.
Yep.
But he also came back for Highlander 2, which was considered one of the worst films of all time.
Yep.
But since then, it's had a director's cut. A lot of people have come back to it as a good film. He's great in it.
Yep.
He's great in it. But Outland is a film that he made with Peter Hyams.
Yes.
The guy that made 2010.
Yes.
Amongst many others.
Good film.
Yeah, and it's... How do you explain it? It looks like Alien. Like, it's got the quality of Alien. The set design's very similar, but it's all about... It's like a remake of High Noon. So he plays a marshal that's on some... mining colony on Jupiter's moon. Okay. And suddenly all his workers start dying, and he sniffs out like corruption. And why are they dying? Are they being overworked? Are they being given a drug?
There you go.
Spoiler, they are. And he sort of then has to fish out the corruption. And I was telling someone the other day that I think that's Connery's, other than The Hill, most impassioned kind of performance because he also plays a family man whose family can't hack live in on Jupiter's moon, so they leave him in an early scene, and he's got the dilemma: do I stay and finish this, which is important, or do I go with my family because getting back to Earth is going to take over a year?
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that quandary is fantastic.
I have to check it out.
Yeah,
interesting.
It's great.
Outland. There you go.
Outland, yeah.
I just thought it too, actually, from the 90s. First Sean Connery film I ever saw, Dragonheart.
Oh, yeah, Draco.
Yeah, he voices the dragon, doesn't he? And The Avengers.
Oh, my goodness. Ray Fiennes.
Which I watched as a kid and obviously was immune to its flaws, but I believe it's not very good. It's one of the worst films ever made, I think. Well, it's got that reputation. But he rocked an umbrella in that. He was controlling the weather, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, bizarre movie. Insane.
For sure. Oh, what about probably late 80s Medicine Man? That was
heard of, haven't seen.
It's a detested film. Most people would put that up as one of the worst films of all time. That was John McTiernan who did Die Hard.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow.
He played a doctor living in... He's almost like a Brando character. Yeah. Like he's living in the jungle and he's kind of gone a bit mad. He's looking for a cure for cancer. And, yeah, but that's a pretty good one.
The Great Train Robbery. Have you seen that? Yeah, that's solid. With Plummer. Is Plummer in that? Oh, maybe not.
That's got another ensemble. It's not Bob Hoskins, is it? No, no.
I don't know. It's like 79. Good film.
Yep.
It's gone. I think it's like the person who plays second fiddle to him is like, I think it's Plummer. If it's not, it'll appear on the screen.
Here's a great story.
You do that, don't you? You still? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, why not? Is it still recording?
Oh yeah, no.
We're all good.
Yeah,
okay, because you remember that used to happen all the time.
Jinx it.
Yeah. A good story was he was asked to play the role of God in Life Less Ordinary.
Okay.
Danny Boyle film.
Wow, didn't know that.
He said no simply because of scheduling conflicts. But then he was talking about Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
And Train Spotting.
What did he say?
He goes, it's a film everyone has to see.
Really?
Particularly being in Edinburgh. But it's he reckons it's one of the best Scottish films of all time.
Oh, of course he would feel pride.
Mind you, though, yes, but it's a very ugly film. And, he comes from an old school. And
he is referenced quite considerably in that film because Johnny Lee Miller is obsessed with Sean Connery. You know how he's shooting up and he's like...
That's why he loved the film.
He's like, Dr. No is a great starting point, but it's not until Goldfinger where he's talking about...
And then he's got the pellet gun.
Yeah, that's right.
He's got the eye on the
money. Oh, because he's talking about what about the Academy Award? Yeah. It's like a blip on a downward trajectory. This is amazing. And this is a film that's occurred to me because of Trainspotting now. Is it The Name of the Rose?
Oh, yeah.
Bang, that's a big film.
Once again, spoke about that recently on the podcast.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, with Christian Slater.
And
F. Murray Abraham.
And Michael Lonsdale is a Bond, Hugo Drax, Moonraker. Good film, man.
Yes, very good film.
Gritty. Confronting.
Very confronting.
And indeed.
The scene on the stairwell.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, dang. But, cheeky little murder mystery. That's a great film.
Yeah.
Far out. Trainspotting. I was going to say, now that you brought that up, he was asked to play Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. He was like first pick, and I can't remember why he turned it down.
He just retired.
Yeah, okay. So it was before.
Didn't that come around the same time as League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
League, from memory, could be wrong, was 2003. And I believe Fellowship 2001. It was around that time.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what it could have been that maybe he was done and he got talked back and he came back for.
Well, he produced League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and had really high hopes for it.
And it was not great. But he turned. Imagine him as Gandalf.
Yeah, I don't.
Same. He's too. It'd be just like that Sean Connery.
By the end of his career too, he'd become a caricature.
Yeah, like he was.
Like my accent is what everyone does, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
That classic sketch on Saturday Night Live where he's on Jeopardy.
I haven't seen that.
Mr. Connery, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Goes, I'll take the rapist for 300. Like, it's the therapist. So.
Yeah.
It's a great bit.
He's such a lad, isn't he?
Great bit.
But will forever be James Bond. Let's be honest. I mean,
strapping young man.
Just what an amazing, the coolest guy in cinema. Like amazing.
Spent his last 15 or so years living in the Bahamas.
Very much
in a closed community, just living life to its fullest.
That's right.
Playing golf.
Went to film Thunderball in the Bahamas and thought I'm going to come back here.
That's right. Ain't no way Corona's going to get him.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And he'd just go to random tennis events, wouldn't he? He was a lad, I got to say. Unapologetically a lad.
One of the last of his ilk.
That's right.
For sure.
Great actor, unique.
Created
the greatest action hero in cinema history.
Indeed. And we missed the opportunity to really, pay any kind of respect to him on the show. So we got Keith back.
Yeah, man. It was worth it.
Awesome.
Sean, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come on.
And now, piss off.
That's right.
No, it's good to see you again, mate.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
I'm sure everyone listening and watching will love this.
Pleasure to be back. Hopefully I'll be here sometime again in the future. You never know.
Without doubt.